back, y'all, to Harmon Homestead. I'm getting situated here. Going to do a little impromptu chicken scratch talk time. Got me a glass of tea and I'm going to talk to y'all. So welcome back to all the new subscribers. Ooh, I got a lot to talk about. We videoed the corn 2 weeks after we side dressed it. 2 weeks. And the growth is amazing. Tomorrow, it's finally dried up here. It's rained every day. I'm going to get out in the raised beds. We're going to weed. We're going to tie up tomatoes on cattle panels. We got a lot to do tomorrow. I'm going to try to video bush beans, zucchini, squash, cucumbers, everything for you guys, and just show you the growth of each plant. If you don't know about it, it can educate you a little bit. So buckle up. We got a lot going on. Probably the best garden year I've had. Knock on wood. So welcome back. Chicken Scratch Talk Time. I'm going to talk to you. Thank you to all the subscribers. Thank you to every new person on here. We do these videos where I sit and talk. I try to do it once a week. I just talk about whatever's on my mind, my heart, whatever. Okay? So, let me start out by saying a little bit about me and this house. Y'all see this house in the videos. It's an old home. It's an old farmhouse my great-grandfather built. It's been added on to. It's been renovated. It's everything in the book. I grew up here. When I was in the 6th grade, my family moved to town. I've told y'all bits and pieces about this before, and I always wanted to come back here. I just knew I wanted to be back in this house. There were renters renting this house at the time, and they demolished it. They flew the coop. They left. It was terrible. I remember being a teenager, and I would actually drive down here, and I would look at the house. I would sit at the end of the driveway, and I would just look at it, and I would just long to be back in this house. Every memory I had come in this house. This is where I grew up. This is where my memories were made. My family was at the time that was still living, or before they had passed on, and everything good in life was associated with this area, and I just always wanted to be back. I've never been drawn to anything as I was getting back to this house. I mean, y'all, it was a feeling of I had to do it. I had to do it. And I just knew deep down that I would be back down here someday. Well, years rocked on. Still lived in town, lived with my parents, and I moved back down here. Everybody said, oh, that's pointless. That house is not worth it. That house is dilapidated, you know. Well, where there's a will, there's a way. The house is old, okay, but at the time, I worked 2 jobs, and I renovated this house while not going through any kind, shape, form, or fashion of debt. And when I mean renovated, I mean in the guest bedroom, you could see dirt in the floor had fell in. It was bad. Holes were knocked in the walls. I mean, it was a shame what these people did to this house. There was probably wild animals living in here. I mean, seriously, I don't know. The amounts of trash, these people just left everything they had. I mean, sacks and sacks of trash, clothing, furniture. They just flew the coop. It was just pitiful, y'all. And you talk about hard. You're trying to do something, and you're trying to do it on your own. And I did have help. I did, but it was minimal. I will say that. The house where it's been added onto, it was brick exterior, and other family members added onto it. So these walls that I have, these interior walls, are actually brick walls that were the exterior of the house. Now this is way before I come along and the renters and all that. These renters got in here and painted this stuff, everything from lime green to hot pink to, I mean, and when I mean paint, I mean, this might be hot pink and this might be lime. I mean, it was terrible. It was terrible. And I was trying to get it done very quickly. I was trying to move in, and I was trying to do it debt free. And I remember I thought, well, I'm doing it on my own. And the brick, y'all, the brick. If you have ever painted brick in your life, especially interior brick, well, you're talking about somebody that didn't have the means to get a sprayer, didn't know what to do. Where there's a will, there's a way. Here I was painting brick and mortar inside of this house with paintbrushes. And when I mean paintbrushes, I mean craft paintbrushes, trying to get in between the nooks and crannies of each little brick. And on top of that, I was trying to paint it stark white. So, you know, the whole farmhouse colors, you can kind of tell the colors of this house. Y'all, that was probably the hardest thing in my life I've ever had to do. And when I mean do it on my own. But I got moved in. I got moved in very quickly, and I have enjoyed it ever since. Now, this house may not be standing tomorrow. I don't know, but I'm happy as a bug in a rug in this house. And it was so worth it. It was so worth it because now I'm here. And when I tell y'all in these videos, if I can do it, you can do it, I am the living proof. It seems like I've always overcame whatever adversity was in my way. And I always dreamed of being back in this house. Well, what was the chance? People were living here and then they just up and left. People demolished this place, but it got fixed. People, it was destroyed, but it was rebuilt. Tonight, I was sitting down on the couch, and every night I try to do a Bible study. And I'm nowhere near as acquainted with the Bible as I would like to be. It's a process I'm learning every day, and I have made it from Genesis. I've read all parts of the Bible, but I said I'm going to sit down and I'm going to read the Bible through and through. And I have an annotated Bible a very dear friend of mine gave to me. And I read it. I gave it back to him. I said, I've got to get my own. So I got my own version. And this Bible is like, this thick. It is excellent. And I'm learning so many things I didn't know. Well, I've made it all the way to Ezra. I have never heard Ezra preached. It's usually just not something that's preached about in church. It's not, you have your points like Genesis or John. You have your main books of the Bible. And I've learned so much in just these smaller books. Really, I have learned a wealth of knowledge. And I was reading Ezra tonight. And it's Ezra 5:5, and that's why I'm doing this video. I wanted to do it while it was fresh on my mind. Ezra 5:5. What had happened in Ezra was the Jews were trying to rebuild the temple. Solomon had built a temple, it was destroyed, and the Jews were trying to rebuild it. And the verse said that God's eye was on them, and he wanted them to continue building and rebuilding. And they had so many adversities against them. The neighboring countries were trying to say to the king at the time that they were rebellious by doing this. They were a terrible people. They had rebelled. They were doing this for the wrong reasons. And they just kept on. And they just kept on building. They sent letters trying to get them accused of things. They tried to halt it. They did halt the building. They said, hey, these people, they got to stop. They're trying to rebel. And so they investigated it. I'm putting this in layman terms, okay? And I'm not the one to go to for all this. I'm just telling you what I've learned about it, okay? They investigated it and said, hey, in other words, they're justified in doing this. So after all those adversities, the king at the time said, yeah, go on, keep building. And in fact, all of y'all that's tried to meddle in this, we're going to make y'all contribute to the building. But what struck me with that was that they kept on no matter what, doing their purpose. And why did they keep on? Why? God influenced them. I thoroughly believe when God lays something on our hearts, we just got to do it. And there's been so many things in my life that I have just tried and wanted to do and thought it was fun and thought it was cool and then just changed my mind. We all do that. But there's been certain few things, just like moving back in this house, that I just knew it was going to be. I just knew it. I had no doubt. I had nothing. I just kept on. No matter what adversities came my way, I was going to get back in this house, and I had a confidence in it. I mean, people told me, you're wasting your time. This is pointless, but I wanted to be here. There was a reason that I was to be back in this house. It's not something fickle that I just wanted. There was a purpose. Well, now I see it years later. You can't get away from it. You can't, I truly feel that if God puts you in a position and puts something on your heart, no matter what, you keep going and you keep doing what is really on your heart. And like I said, there's a lot of stuff I'm not talking about, well, I want to try bicycle riding and get a bike. You ride a couple times and then you're done with it. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about a desire, a driven passion that you don't know where it came from, why it's there. You just got to see it through. And that, to me, is divine intervention. You've got to see it through. For anybody wanting to homestead, okay? This could be a fad. This could be something you're wanting to try. But y'all, I'm telling you, with everything in my heart right now, God has laid this on my heart to do it, okay? It may not be the same way with you. There have been, I didn't even want to do this. I didn't even know that this existed. I didn't know. I literally woke up one morning and I told my husband, I want some chickens. And it just snowballed. And now I'm a determined person, okay? If I start out with something, I'm going to see it through one way or the other. And this is not that way. I see no end in sight with this. Usually everything I'll say, well, just say I want to take up painting. I've done that, the palette knife painting, me and my mother did that. Well, I wanted to make so many pictures. I saw it. I liked it. I was kind of done, okay? This is totally different. I see no end in sight. With that, I did. This I don't, and I don't know where it came from. I do not, but I know that I am supposed to be doing this. I know that with every grain in my body. If God leads you to a certain thing, it don't matter if you don't want to do it. You're going to end up doing it anyways. That's the whole point. There's a lot of things in life we can choose not to do and we can choose to do, but this is more special and unique. When you're in something and you don't know why you're there, but you just know that it's right. And you've just got to keep going. Just like they did rebuilding that temple against every adversity. I have been through so many adversities. Like I said with our chickens, our entire flock, but I don't know, 9 chickens were destroyed last January, and now we have rebuilt back up to 200 chickens. I mean, I don't know how we did it. I don't know, well, just for example, I put, hey, I'm looking for Morans, I'm looking for olive eggers, I'm looking for any kind of Americana. And if you've ever tried to find hatching eggs or find chickens in January, first of all, they're all molting, most of them. And second of all, that's not your prime time of the year to try to do it. That morning, I was on the internet and I said, hey, I'm going to see if any of our friends have this. I'm going to see if anybody does. Well, sure enough, that day, there was people saying, yeah, we'll help you. We'll help you. It was meant to be. It was meant to be. And now it's better than it was. I've got what I wanted. I always wanted to have olive eggers and a colored egg laying basket. I wanted this stuff. It took a long way to get here, but now we're here. We're here. I got what I wanted, but it's even better, even though all those adversities took place. Because how easy would it have been that morning after, y'all, when I woke up and I went to these dining room windows, every chicken I had was in the yard. It looked like Hiroshima out in the backyard. Every coop destroyed. I mean, it was horrible. I mean, how easy would it have been to just say, yeah, I'm done. I'm done. I'm not fooling with this anymore. How many people have done that? And that was probably their purpose. That was probably, it was probably meant to be when they did give it up. I talk about commitment a lot, and I talk about, like I said, I'm so headstrong on doing what I start. But like I said, I see no end in sight, and I don't know why. I'm here for the long haul. I don't know why. God laid this on my heart, and I'm going to see it through. Just like this YouTube. I don't know why I'm doing this. I mean, I wanted to help people. I wanted to help people that were like me, that really needed some straight answers. Straight answers, put it in layman terms, have something to listen to while they're doing housework or out feeding the chickens. They can put a cell phone in their back pocket and listen to someone talk. Money saving tips. I wanted something like that for the younger people, because there is nobody. Either it's somebody sitting here that has got more than we'll ever have, or either it's somebody that's so far outside of my age bracket. It could be my, grandmother or grandfather, and it's just, I just wanted somebody for us, and to inspire this age purpose, this age bracket. And if it wasn't for the older people, I would know nothing. So praise the Lord, they're here trying to teach, because they have me, okay? They have. Every YouTuber, every whatever, they have helped. But I wanted to aim something at somebody my age and feel like I had something in common with. And that's why I started this, I guess. But otherwise, I really don't know. God has put on me the pressure to pursue. And it'll be done. It'll be done one way or the other. Our gardening. Our first year, I could have threw in the towel. Now, I'm a headstrong person, so I could see myself going back the second year. I really could. Second year, had a great year. So I could see after that, yeah, I'd try it a third. Okay. Yeah, that's me. I would do it. But by the last year, I mean, it was terrible. It was terrible. But here I am this year. I don't know why, because I had so much going on. We've had, everybody's got life, okay? We had so much going on. I really thought, yeah, this is getting tough. But it never entered my mind that it's just time to move on to the next hobby, okay? This is not a hobby. This is a way of life. So if you have the pressure to pursue something, I'm not going to sit here and tell you you've got to keep going, because it doesn't matter if you want to or not. You will if it has been laid on you, okay? In my opinion. If it's not, then you'll decide to move on and go to something else, and it's just not that purpose. I really have thought of ideas to talk to you about this week, and I thought, well, maybe I should tell people to be committed. I see so many people on Facebook and other places say, we're just so tired of this, it's not working out. And I thought maybe I can inspire those people, but to keep going. Maybe it's just not meant to be in some of this. Maybe it's not. They can do stuff that I can't, I'm sure, okay? They can do a lot more than I can. So to each his own as far as a hobby or a talent. But if something is put on your heart, you'll know. You'll know. Just like I knew with this house. There was not a single ounce of doubt in my mind. I mean, people looked at me like I was crazy. They do now with this homesteading. They think, really? Like, why are you doing this? First of all, it's not, 3 years ago, it was not cool. Now it's become a fad. A lot of people are wanting to do it because it has picked up popularity and because stuff is so expensive. That's two huge things right there. It looks cool if somebody's out here planting something that they've never heard of and it seems to be a peaceful bohemian lifestyle, or either they're tired of paying $5 for a sack of flour. One of the two. It's in my opinion, it's one of the two. I think people got bored a couple years ago when they had to stay at home a lot, and they picked up this as a hobby. But I think it opened a lot of people's eyes that they could do something proactive, whatever it may be, to help their wallet, help their family, live a simpler life. It doesn't have to be homesteading full blown. It can be just, hey, we might cook supper tonight at home. So, I know it's kind of a weird chicken scratch today, because usually I'm like, hey, go get her, go do whatever. But we can't stop what's our purpose. We can't stop it. And we can't, you know, if the Lord has laid something on your heart, you'll know it. And it will all pan out, no matter what. If you're going through any adversity, if you're going through any trial, anything like that, it will all pan out. And it will work out for the good in the end. No matter if it seems like it's terrible right now, or it's a terrible time, or it's just not going your way. If the purpose is there and He's put it on your heart, you'll see it through one way or the other. And guys, that's all we're doing. We're just going day by day. I don't even feel pressured to try to have the best garden or the best animals. I used to, but now I don't even care. I just know that it's my responsibility in life to be out here doing this. And I know that it's my purpose. And what a wonderful feeling, once you know that, whatever it is in life, to lay down at night and know that that's your purpose, whatever it may be. You've got to find your own way. God will lead you, but you've got to be led. Very serious talk time today, guys. Keep after it. Find your purpose. Keep pursuing. We'll see you next time on Harmon Homestead.